CAIR has published another one of their civil rights reports. This yearly event is reported on TV without the stations ever reading any of them. Here is an example of what is in CAIR's latest report.
Wing online publication alleged that Governor Newsom gave millions of dollars to mosques that cheer the annihilation of Jews as part of his security grants to religious centers. The article was reportedly full of Islamophobic tropes and out-of-context quotes, creating the impression that the majority, if not all, of the mosques and Muslim organizations who received security grants were hateful.
So this is the article published by the Washington Free Beacon, where it mentions $200,000 given to Sajadiya Islamic Society, where radical Imam Hamza Sodagar gave a sermon.
I watched the video of Sid Hassan's speech today, and he confirmed I have to have trusted sources. The civilians that were killed in Israel were not killed by Hamas. The civilians killed in Israel on October 7th when Hamas attacked were killed by the Israeli military. The military came in. In fighting Hamas, they opened fire on their own citizens. We need to show support for the armed resistance of the Palestinians. That is a must for us. If we do not do that, if there isn't global support for the armed resistance of the Palestinians, we are not going to accomplish the goal of getting rid of the Zionist regime. That's just not possible.
Then the Free Beacon shows us CAIR Los Angeles Executive Director Hussein Malouche preaching at the Islamic Society of Corona Norco.
The second lie is the lie of the unprovoked attack of October 7th. If I hear that term again, I'll go crazy. Every media outlet, every politician. Israel was subjected to an unprovoked attack. Unprovoked in what dictionary? Is a 75-year occupation and dispossession of the Palestinian people, does it count as a provocation? Are the checkpoints, is the apartheid regime, is the murder and the wounding and the injuring of Palestinians every single day for the last 75 years? The mistreatment of Palestinians at the checkpoint, the stealing of their land to build racist settlements for Jews only, roads for Jews only, a lot of times funded by our tax money. Is that provocation? When somebody says it's unprovoked, I say, what would you do if China or Russia or Mexico decides to put a siege on our country and start grabbing our land and put checkpoints in LA and start beating up people and shooting people and impose some apartheid regime? What would you call that provocation?
Moving on to the Islamic Center of San Gabriel Valley, which received $200,000 this year, and where preacher Amir Murtaban preached his message.
The brothers and sisters that were in Iraq, and wallahi, many of us in this community, and I will never forgive the people that did this, trashed the brothers and sisters in Iraq that were fighting against the American government. Shame on you. Shame on you. Shame on you. I will not label any of our Iraqi brothers and sisters that fought against the American regime and the occupation. I will never label them terrorists. Shame on you if you did. If you're going to make a claim that Muslims killed innocent civilians, you better be able to prove it. And if you just give me some article by the IDF, I will spit in your face. This is not okay. Muslims, we have in our tradition that we verify information.
Followed by the Islamic Center of San Diego and its Imam Taha Hassani, who received $200,000 from Newsom.
Informed and educated about the reality. And this is the most important thing, the most important statement. Keep in mind whenever you talk to somebody about what's going on now. What we are witnessing now did not start last week or October the 7th. This is a result of a 75 plus years of brutal Zionist occupation of Palestine. And it is the result of the 16 plus years of the brutal barbaric blockade of Gaza. That's it, point. Nothing else to add. Because they are trying to tell us that what's going on now in Gaza is justified because of the attack. No. What's going on now is the result, the continuous brutal occupation of Palestine and Gaza. And when people are occupied, then the resistance is justified. Resistance when people are occupied becomes a human right. People have the right to resist. People have the right to defend their lives and the lives of their community members. People have the right to defend their land, their properties, their deen, their dignity, their honor. We cannot accuse somebody who is fighting for his life to be a terrorist. The terrorist is the one who started the occupation.
Newsom's office gave $200,000 to Masjid of Riverside, which is led by Imam Mahmoud Harmouche, who in 2019 called for the destruction of Jews.
And then they will call in their fighting, Ya latharati Khaybar. Where is Khaybar? They will go back to it. And they will make every Muslim pay one way or the other. Wake up. It is time to be a Muslim. Prayers is not the only things. اللهم حرر المسجد الأقصى اللهم حرر المسجد الأقصى وجميع بلاد المسلمين من الطغاة والظالمين والمحتلين اللهم عليك بهم فإنهم لا يعجزونك اللهم شتت شملهم وفرق جمعهم واجعلهم غنيمة للمسلمين يا رب العالمين.
The Islamic Center of Hawthorne was the recipient of a $200,000 grant, and where Hamdi Sadiq spoke.
Allah told him, when I direct you to Al-Kaaba, the Jews, they will get a chance to attack you, and also the hypocrites, and also the weak Muslim, they can affect by the media of the Jews. And the Jews, they gave hard time to the prophets until they killed them. And they denied their messages. اللهم وحد صف المسلمين واجمع كلمة المسلمين وأعلي راية الحق والدين ومكن لدينك في الأرض يا رب العالمين وطهر المسجد الأقصى من أدران اليهود يا رب العالمين.
Newsom gave out this money in response to October 7th. He even gave money to CAIR, where their San Francisco Bay Area executive director, Zahra Billu, told an audience not to make friends with Jews.
But I also want us to pay attention to the polite Zionists, the ones that say, let's just break bread together. We oppose a Muslim ban in the United States, but we cannot support Palestinian human rights. We need to pay attention to the Anti-Defamation League. We need to pay attention to the Jewish Federation. We need to pay attention to the Zionist synagogues. We need to pay attention to the Hillel chapters on our campuses, because just because they're your friend today doesn't mean that they have your back when it comes to human rights. So oppose the vehement fascists, but oppose the polite Zionists too. They are not your friends. They will not be there for you when you need them. They will take your friendship and throw your Palestinian brothers and sisters under the bus. Oh, you get along because you're all in Girl Scouts together? Talk to them about what is happening in Palestine and see how that conversation goes.
CAIR lied to stop perfectly justified inspections of radical mosques and preachers.
Following the article's publication, several major mosques in Southern California informed CAIR about being approached by California's Office of Emergency Services, CalOES, to conduct emergency site visits to investigate the mosques. CAIR staff reached out to CalOES to express concern about their actions being based on a problematic and Islamophobic article with a political agenda. CalOES subsequently canceled the emergency visits, and the mosques and religious centers were able to benefit from the security grants at a time when hate crimes and hate incidents targeting Muslims and mosques were at an all-time high.
And this is only one example from their report, which is full of lies.